Today, Thursday, a member of the Kurdistan Democratic Party, Sharif Suleiman, considered that the Ministry of Finance is responsible for obstructing the implementation of the budget items, stressing that there is an emphasis on some small matters in order to delay the region's dues. While he pointed out that the oil and gas law is very important in the administration of the state, Suleiman said during his speech to the program, openly, broadcast by Al Sumaria TV, that the Ministry of Finance in the federal government is responsible for obstructing the implementation of the budget items, and there is an emphasis on some small matters in order to delay the region's dues. Noting that some matters in the budget are good, another impossible punishment came against the region, and it is conditional. If you do not do this, you will bear these consequences, and the two Kurdish sides bear responsibility, and what concerns us is the entitlements of the people of the region. He added, the oil and gas law is very important in the administration of the state, and over the course of 5 electoral cycles it was not approved due to its importance, and all governorates have a right to it. There were international participations in order to overcome the obstacles to this law and its approval, but they were not overcome, adding, if we had reached an agreement on this law and used it in a real way, and given the benefits to the productive governorates, the region, and the center, our situation would have been different from this situation, because it comes after the Constitution, with state management due to its importance, and we need the highest level of consensus among the political blocs to reach its approval. Suleiman praised the Sudanese decision regarding the formation of a committee dedicated to reading, studying and discussing this law and presenting the best draft that is closest to consensus and submitting it to Parliament for a vote on it, noting that until now there is no complete consensus despite the confirmation of the political document and the government program to approve this law, and everyone knows that it will be resolved. All the outstanding problems between the region, the center, and the governorates that are demanding their entitlements in the budget, and there are many difficulties that will be an obstacle to it. He pointed out that there is a special clause placed in the draft budget that stipulates the payment of 12.67% allocated to the region, after which sovereign expenditures and ministries' dues are counted and extracted, and this is the basis of the dispute, explaining that the two ruling parties in the region have their effective political influence in the federal government and their relationship negatively and positively affects on the performance of the government in general, and differences in viewpoints exist, but in general, the two parties have one issue, and they will reach an agreement if they want to serve the Kurdistan region, and attempts regarding this matter are continuing. He explained that the differences between the two ruling parties in the region have been exploited recently by some parties participating in the government, especially on the issue of the budget, and have caused harm to the region and the political process, pointing out that the points of disagreement between the region and the center boil down to extraction contracts, production and transportation costs, and contracts concluded with oil companies, and the existence of a disparity between Erbil and Baghdad regarding the issue of extraction and transportation, and there is an understanding about these matters at the present time. He continued, there is no decision to withdraw from the government and we are now participating and supportive of the government program. However, we look forward to a radical solution to all obstacles facing the federal government and the region to begin a new transitional phase, because the affected person is the citizen in general and the people of the region in particular. Noting, agreed, completely regarding foreign and internal policy, we believe that Iraq's sovereignty is one, and after 2003 Iraq moved strongly towards federalism, but the matter is over now when the Iraqi government is in control. Unlike if there were federal trends, it would have lost control. Regarding Sanjar, a member of the Kurdistan Democratic Party confirmed that the situation there is complex and difficult until now, and there is a political conflict around it, and the Yazidi component has made 12,000 victims in the judiciary, and to date more than 3,000 girls are still missing, whose fate is unknown, and more than 60,000 Yazidi people live in Sanjar camps and there is no ability for them to return to their areas, stressing that the government's efforts in Sanjar are not sufficient and below the level of conviction, and the federal government bears all responsibility because it did not commit to implementing the agreement. He pointed out that we need money in compensation for the displaced, normalizing the situation and convincing them that they will not face other dangers, and also creating elements of safety and stability and not exploiting them politically, explaining that the government and the Ministry of Immigration are reluctant to provide services to the displaced, and the UN side and its representative, Plaskart, have evaded the implementation of the Sinjar Agreement as well, and more has passed. For 3 years, not even 5% of it has been implemented, and the only people affected by the matter are the displaced. Suleiman continued, the exit of the displaced from the Makmur camp is a political issue, and there must be a security investigation into this matter, and the government has not conducted it yet, calling on the government and the Ministry of Immigration and Displacement to pay attention to the file of the displaced, implement the Sinjar Agreement, and work on their return as quickly as possible. Suleiman concluded by saying, the right side of Mosul is afflicted so far and needs a lot of work, and the government has provided, but we need to provide the best, especially in the disputed areas, Shekin, Tal Kaif, Sinjar, Al-Kosh, Bashika, Beta, and others, which are considered the dividing line between the region and the center, and finding ways that would lift the repression,